We're putting down a laminate floor today, and there's a number of things that you want to check before you get going. One, you have to make sure that the floor is level, of course, and then number two, you have to make sure that it's clean. Check all the screws or nails, whatever you're putting it down over. Make sure that everything is flush or countersunk, so that you don't have some kind of a witness of a nail sticking up or screw sticking up or chunk of dirt, something like that. But the key is, when you're starting this floor, you have to make sure that the dimensions are correct in the room. And if you can make it up, you try to make it up by starting the floor a quarter of an inch away from the wall. This is a floating floor, of course. It's called a waterproof vinyl plank I'm putting down. And the first row goes in, and this room is approximately 12 by 16, so it works out pretty nicely. But you put the first row in, you shim away from the wall, make sure everything is straight, make sure all your seams are closed. As you can see here, here's the seam. Everything looks closed. Put the shims so that it doesn't move. I'm going to put a couple of more shims down here so it doesn't move that direction. But when you're putting the floor in, the last piece you cut, and you take that piece that you cut and you bring it up here to start the second row, because you don't want any seams lining up. And as you can see, I have shims in here so that this floor doesn't travel when I'm starting to assemble it. And you have to be very careful when you're assembling it, because you want the seams all closed. As you can see here, you can hardly see the seam, but obviously the seam is right here. This is called what I call lock and fold laminate floor. Anybody with any type of reasonable skill should be able to put it down. I'm cutting it with a chop saw, but they say you can strike it with a utility knife and snap it, but I'm not interested in doing that. It's so easy to cut it with a fine blade carbide saw. I'm using a Diablo blade. I think it's 60 fine, the 60 teeth fine, cuts beautifully. And if you can see this edge here, I just cut this a couple minutes ago. It's perfectly. It's not chewed up at all. And so, but what you do is when you start the floor, you measure from here, the width, because when you get to the other side, you want it to look reasonably finished against the inside wall. And you put the first piece goes down with the tongue facing the wall, and the tongue of the first piece facing the other wall. And so that's it. It's not hard. The key is be careful with the saw if you're going to use a saw. Don't want to take any fingers off. And other than that, of course, make sure that if you put the subfloor down, make sure it's, you use some type of glue underneath the floor, and make sure that it's not going to, you don't want to have any squeaks or any soft spots. The frame underneath has to be level, of course, and then the subfloor will consequently be level also. So I hope this gives you a little hint of how to do it. I don't know what else I can tell you other than enjoy your day, and I hope you will be as satisfied as I know I will be with this laminate floor. Waterproof. It's called waterproof vinyl plank. It's 7-inch wide. Okay, have a good day.